Mars the survival map. Is it really as bad as some people like to say it is online? No. No, not really, not at all, actually. Mars is by far the most unique survival map in Black Ops 7 Zombies, period. Like, of all of the other ones from Ashes, Farm, Exit 115, and Cosmodrome, those all play relatively the same. The major difference only really between them is that Farm has the spores that you can farm. Farm on Farm, you can farm the spores on Farm. Good job, Treyarch. No, but for real, they all play extremely similar, and I think Mars here is by far the most unique one. And I know that, just being unique in itself is not, it doesn't directly warrant being good or better or, anything like that, but here's the thing. Overall, what we have been saying, and one of the main complaints of the community has been, hey, Treyarch, we want these survival maps to be more unique. We want them to have things that are different on each of them so that we can, have a bit of a different experience playing from map to map. It's not a hard concept to understand, especially when comparing them directly to the previous survival maps from Black Ops 2, right? We had they were all so different from each other. Nuketown it was basically like a town, but it had perks that fell from the sky. Town had the most perks to offer, sort of the most kind of way to play the game was available in Town. Pack-a-punch, perks, wall weapons, whatnot, 3 doors. Farm only had perks, no pack-a-punch. And then Bus Depot, obviously, just had a mystery box. Didn't even have a quick revive machine. 1 door. It was essentially the Nocturne Totem of Black Ops 2. And I actually say that as someone who started playing zombies on Black Ops 2, and essentially, literally this map. This was my Nocturne Totem. This taught me the basics, and I will never forget camping behind the little... behind the shelter, and just holding out for as long as I can with my brothers and my cousin, and even by myself. Like, I played the shit out of this when I was a kid. Farm obviously offered a little bit more. Just having the 4 base perks on that map changed how it played dramatically, but it still wasn't as fully fleshed out as Town, because obviously Town had Pack-a-Punch. And then you also had not only the 4 base perks, but you had Stamina Up and Tombstone, the new perk in Transit. So there was quite a few differences between the 3 Green Run survival maps and then also Nuketown Zombies, the bonus launch map. A lot to differentiate them and how they play. And just because of due to the core systems of modern zombies, they've oversimplified this kind of survival mechanics, where they've had like, okay, every survival map's going to be a section of the map. It's going to have a Wonder Fizz, a Pack-a-Punch machine, this, that, bing, bang. Maybe we'll add a door in there as they did with Farm, where there isn't one normally, but they haven't really done that since. And because all those, kind of base systems are there, there's not even like map unique perks that you can get other than, it's just literally the Wonder Fizz. And I think that sucks. I think that, that is just sort of one of these, another, modern system that we have, that whatever has been implemented, that everything needs to be kind of streamlined and similar, and nothing can, veer too far away from anything else at all. Everything has to be very, very like similar in this game, it feels like. And Mars suffers from all of these same exact issues. Mars, no unique perks. We just, we have TED tasks. We have an open room. In fact, no doors on this map, which bothers some people. It suffers from, being very similar in like its core mechanics still. It's not like an entirely fresh experience, but the fact that we have these anti-gravity sections of it, that come on and off, and it feels like it's 50% on and 50% off, that dramatically changes the way that you train and play this map. It plays completely different than any other survival map in the game, quite frankly. And sure, there's not only 1 door, there's no doors. Maybe that's, I guess, frustrating for some people. I don't know where you would want to put a door on this map. To me, that kind of seems like it'd be forced and weird if they, fiddled in some door where there doesn't need to be one. But what this map's going for is just a big open kind of area. It's a completely different vibe. It's not going for the same vibe, and it isn't the same vibe, and it plays very differently because there's a big open area with anti-gravity. You can obviously camp, but you can train, and it plays very, very differently. TED tasks play differently. Everything plays differently because of that constant switch up of the gravity. Uber closes are extremely annoying, and I don't think that they're necessary at all on this map. Like Treyarch, I don't know why. Again, it goes back to those base functions where it's like, okay, the survival maps, they all have to have like these things. They have to have power, not power, sorry, they don't have to have power. They have to have Pack-a-Punch, they have to have Wonder Fizz, they have to have, a door or two here, or in this case, no doors, which again I'm saying I like, but and then they have to have like an elite, and they usually also have a special zombie that starts spawning in at 40 as well. No, that actually not usually. They do. That's the formula, and that continues in Mars. Don't get me wrong. And the Mars one is freaking uber Klaus. And you know what? It wouldn't even be that bad if like they only spawned one in at once. But when we're getting to like there being like 4 uber Klauses on like this tiny ass map, when we can't control when we're being tossed around in the gravity, and then you have the close cores spawning in post 40, you're just constantly getting electrocuted. It's ridiculous. It's brutal. Like, that is horrible, and I don't like that at all. I think that the uber close spam has to go. It needs to be changed, and I do anticipate Treyarch will change it because they've been listening. And we had the whole thing with the event where they not only reset it originally, but then they later, because it continued to be all just a total mess, they recently came out and awarded everyone the special camo that you could have gotten for placing top 5. So they sort of righted that wrong. Kind of an L to everyone who grinded the camo, but whatever. Fair enough, Treyarch. I see you. I'm only salty because I didn't unlock the freaking shooting, the shower camo on freaking Astra. I'm so salty I missed that one. Treyarch, please add event camos to the freaking armory. Please, Treyarch. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that I think Mars is just, purely in a vacuum. When you look at, okay, every single one of these survival maps is set up in this certain way. They all have this, enemy, this other enemy type that could start spawning in on this round. And they all have Wonder Fizz, they all have this, they all have that. I think that these differences do make it play very differently, very chaotically. It's really good sort of like challenge map, but it's not going to be good for the everyday, just hopping on basic kind of camo grinding. It's going to be maybe a little bit more tedious for that. Or if you're a psycho, you'll love it for the uber closes and Doomsteel, and I don't know how you can love it for the uber closes regardless, because again, they're just way too ridiculous in the higher rounds. And they're annoying. Like, I'm not saying that, as a whole, this is a good survival map or what I would want necessarily out of a survival map. My take purely is that given, what we have in this game, the Ashes survival maps, I think this one is the most unique and plays the most different by far. And I think that as a baseline, I know the bar is low, but I think that on its own is a good thing and should be celebrated because, is it going to be a lot of people's favorite survival maps? No, absolutely not. I doubt it, but it's by far, you cannot argue, the most different and plays the most different, and you have to have totally different strategies in this map compared to any of the other ones in Black Ops 7. Again, though, personally, I don't love the map. I think my favorite survival map would probably still be Exit 115, just because I love that POI in Ashes, and I just think it looks so cool. I love the vibes. And it's really good. I like the training spot there too. But obviously farm if I wanna grind on those toxic growth spores. But overall, I can't say that I hate the Mars survival map, and I don't think anyone should necessarily hate it. I think it's fine as it is, but I do think it absolutely needs a nerf on those uber closes. I think whatever, they're annoying to have in the map regardless, but at the very least, when they're nerfed, hopefully, fingers crossed, manifesting, I'm just saying it as if they're for sure going to be nerfed. When they are nerfed, I think it'll be a lot better. And I think overall it's a completely different experience. Like, if I'm in it's like a whole different vibe to me, whether I play any of the survival maps from Ashes really just doesn't depend on much at all, right? Whereas if I'm going to load into Mars, I'm going to be looking for a completely different experience. And that's what I like to see in a zombies game overall. It's a well-rounded experience. Even some of the greatest zombies games that people hold to a really high standard, rightfully so, like Black Ops 3, those experiences weren't all the same. From The Giant to Shadows of Evil to Zetsubo, Revelation, Zombies Chronicles. It's a wide range of stuff there, and that is what makes it so good. That's what makes Black Ops 2, in my opinion, also so good. A little more controversial. I actually think Black Ops 2 is the best zombies of all time. I personally put it just above Black Ops 3 because I just think, like, the 3 Victus maps are just their own things entirely, like, as chaotic and messy as Transit is. You can't say that Transit lacks depth or, like, thought and care and time and lore put into it. Like, as bad as it plays, there is so much to that map that, like, we don't even, like, a lot of modern zombies maps don't touch Transit in terms of just lore and depth, especially up until Black Ops 7 and some of Black Ops 6. Not really. Black Ops 7 mainly. I think Mars is fine. I think it's good. I'm overall happy with its inclusion. I just think they need to tone down the uber close, and I really like, what it offers overall, though. I like the one weapon in the box. I like that there's no doors. I actually prefer that. I think it's unique. It's a very small anti-gravity, very different. I think it's overall decent, and I think people are hating on it a little too much. You camo grinders, you still have your other survival maps to go grind on. This is a different experience, and I like that we're getting different experiences in Black Ops 7 to the extent that we are, at least. Let's hope that those experiences, no matter how much they differ, stay at a consistent quality with the upcoming Parardox Junction and the leaks. It's not looking great, but I definitely don't think we should take leaks at face value and run with anything and make any decisions or have any hard feelings just yet. I think we should just wait and judge the map for ourselves when it comes out. For me, as long as it has the amount of depth and care put into it as Astra and Ashes have had, I think I'll be happy because, I mean, overall I'm pretty relatively easy to please. Low-key just happy that we're getting a year 2 of zombies. We're getting more and more zombies. I love zombies, as you guys know. But I also, I do hold the bar somewhere. It's not completely on the floor, and I do want to see some depth and some work put into this. If it's what the leaks are saying, then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think that'll be really bad just purely because of the community reception. And I don't think we can take a lot more bad press and bad reception and hits, guys. I really don't. But I will never judge anything before I play it. And I am honestly, I'll say, I'm excited for Parardox Junction. I'm excited to see what they do. It's sort of got me like anticipating it, like, oh my god, is it going to be just nothing, or is it going to be actually kind of good and kind of deep? And is there going to be a reason that we're here? How are they going to do this, right, in Black Ops 7, given the current track record? I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm both. We'll see. But Mars and the leader event as our offering for zombies at the launch of Season 2, that was something else. Again, I'm glad that, Mars is a unique survival map, but at the end of the day, it's still just that. It's a survival map. And I know a lot of people were disappointed about Parardox not coming at launch, but me personally, didn't really mind too much. All right, I'm rambling. Those are my thoughts, Mars survival, and also the future of Black Ops 7, particularly Parardox Junction as a whole. Thanks for listening to me ramble. All right.